That is a nice draw. Enyimba and then Zvaxor Al Ali. We're not going to play a South African team until the final, so that's good. Should be making our way to the final. Get in. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. Today we crack into the Champions League quarterfinals and we are taking on Enyimba Aba. They are a team from Nigeria. They are a team who we really should be getting past. We've got, as you would have seen from the intro, somewhat a nice little path into the final now because we won our group. We've got into the nice side of the draw, and on the other side there could be a Cape Town City and Bloemfontein Celtic semi-final. So it's gone well for us, but if you are looking forward to today's episode, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and also if you're new around here and enjoy this Hexagon challenge, also hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But here is the draw for this Champions League quarter-final, and as you can see, we will play the winner of Zvax versus Al Ali, and on the other side, Bloemfontein Celtic are taking on Raja Casablanca, while Cape Town City take on ES Setif. That's a team who could cause them a little bit of trouble, being a team that did top Group C from memory and did it quite comfortably, but we're definitely on the good side of the draw here, as I said, and should really be finding our way into this final. So we could be on for another one and done, which we have actually done at all of the clubs that we've won the Champions Leagues at so far. Took a little bit longer in overall terms of getting our most of the continents in the other ones, but this could be a nice quick one for us if things go to plan. But we'll see what happens today and in the upcoming episodes, hopefully, if things go well. So definitely a good draw for us there, and we're very happy with that. And before we bring you guys highlights of the games we've played off camera before today's episode, we've also had our youth intake. Now, this could be incredibly non-important if we do win the Champions League this year. We won't really get to see a lot of these players, but you can see we've got a really promising young centre back there in Jabulani Molefe. He's got 4.5-star potential, a good-looking player, and we've also got another 5 players there who I'm probably going to look at signing: Elliot Sabaya, Vincent Mokwena, Ronald Motlawang, Charlton Lapo, and Kyle Barges. A decent mix of different positions, probably more so defensively. Pretty well covered in defence with a striker, a left winger, and a goalkeeper as well. They're all decent prospects and probably going to be signing those guys up. So they are the newcomers who will be coming into the team from this youth intake, and it looks like a decent crop. Jabulani Molefe, though, definitely the most promising of them. 1.8 metres, but only 15 years old, so he could still grow in that aspect. 12 heading already looks a good prospect for us, along with these other ones in this year's youth intake. We'll see if we need to bring you any more updates on these guys if things go to plan. Hopefully we won't, and we'll be doing a one and done here in Africa. But before we get into the first leg of today's game, of course, we've got 2 legs in today's episode. We're going to get through both of them for you guys just to wrap things up nice and tidily. We did play in yesterday's episode Bloemfontein Celtic, getting a little bit of revenge on them for earlier in the year when they beat us in the MTN 8 final. If you missed that episode, I will leave a link in the top right corner for you. But we've played a lot of games off camera since then, and we continue to do pretty well in the league, not perfectly, and we also rounded off the Champions League group as well as carrying on a little bit deeper into the Nedbank Cup. So off the back of that Bloemfontein Celtic game, we took on Amazulu, and with the rotation team here, a very nice 6-1 win at home. We had an early penalty here in the 12th minute. We got given 3 penalties in this game, only put 2 of them away, but Gordinho put the first of those away early on. Then in the 17th minute, he was slotted through again and made it 2-0. So Gordinho, as you would have heard, did end up with a hat-trick because of that. Not long after that, about halfway through the first half, we made it 3-0. Mamade with a long ball over the top. Graham Pulser getting on the end of that one and putting it into the bottom right corner to make it 3-0. Then a couple of minutes later, it was 4. Pulser on the ball just outside the box. He loses possession briefly, puts the ball in, and somehow that went through the hands of Gwale from Mamade's header. Not sure what happened there, but we were 4-0 up. Pretty poor goalkeeping, but they did get one back. Headed one down, a good save from Christodoulou, but the rebound fell to Mafabula, and they made it 4-1 at half-time. But luckily, we were able to get things back on track in the second half, albeit we already had a nice lead. Pulsa slotted through nicely there from Apollos to make it 5-1. Two more penalties in the game, as I said. Gordinho missed the first one, but eventually got his hat-trick in the 76th minute to make it 6-1. A very nice victory there, especially from the rotation team. 9 shots on target, albeit we did have 2 penalties that went in the back of the net and one that was missed, so not as clinical as it looks, but still pretty clinical from us, and a good overall performance to keep our nice lead at the top of the table. Then off the back of that, we had this last Champions League group game against Cape Town City. We already knew that we were going to qualify top and they were going to qualify in second, so we're really just playing for pride here. We did put out the first team just because of how the schedule was working, and we picked up a 2-1 win at home. A terrible start from us in this game, though. Very early on, it was Cape Town City who got the opener. Whiteman just getting past his man there, and Kossi with a header at the far post and gets it past Gunga. We were 1-0 down just after a minute, but luckily we struck back pretty soon after that. Gordinho, our former player, poor touch there. We get the ball up to Malangu. He sends the goalkeeper the wrong way from a tight angle, and we get it back 2-1 all just before the 5-minute mark. And then in the second half, Nunez, who came off the bench, making his way forward out to Mamade, gets around his man. A lovely finish, curving that around the goalkeeper into the bottom right corner, and we pick up a good 2-1 win to go unbeaten in our Champions League group, which you love to see, and also keep a nice record we've got going this season over Cape Town City. And then we had our second Pretoria derby for the year in the DStv Premiership. We put out the first choice team for this game, and we had another Barocca situation, losing this one 2-1, albeit away from home. 21 minutes was when Mamelodi in the Brazilian type uniform, making their way forward here, got the opener, headed that forward to Reed, a quite similar goal to one that was scored by Amazulu a couple of games ago, as you would have seen, but they made it 1-0, but right before halftime we got back into it. Adaldo Mahua headed to make it 1-0 just before halftime, but then in the second half they got the winner. It was a ball put into the mixer. A little bit of luck for them there. The ball was just bouncing around like a pinball a little bit, and Reed was able to capitalise to get his double, and they won that game 2-1. You look at the stats, probably would have expected the opposite scoreline, but we weren't very good in this game. You can see a lot of average ratings, especially from our attackers. If we go to the bench as well, you can see it was just a bit average from us. Didn't really show up for that game, which was disappointing. Luckily, it was in a game which wasn't a trophy game and didn't have too much impact on things. Fair play to Mamelodi, a decent enough performance from them to take the points off us. So a bit disappointing, a few losses in the league in March, but we bounced back off the back of that, put out the rotation in the second round of the Nedbank Cup against the Golden Arrows, who are down in sort of mid to the bottom area of the top division table, and a good 5-0 win at home for us here. We got off to a much better start in this game, albeit we scored at a similar time. 4 minutes in, a long ball up from Pulsa. No idea where the goalkeeper's going there, but luckily Welcome Boyson able to put that in the back of the net for us. Bit of a gift then. They gave us another gift, the penalty which Gordinho tucked away in the 17th minute, so we were 2-0 up fairly early on, and a couple of minutes after that we did make it free. A ball forward to Welcome Boyson yet again, gets it past the goalkeeper, and he was on his hat-trick before half-time. And then right before half-time, he capped things off with it. Apollos driving forward, plays the ball out to Boyson outside the box. A really nice strike, that one, and we made it 4-0 before half-time. And then late in the game, Lapo has a free kick in the second half. Not sure how that's got through the goalkeeper's hands yet again, but a good 5-0 win for us there. Very comprehensive, and a nice bounce back after that loss in the league to the Mamelodi Sundowns. And then we got back into the league. This time we put out our full-strength team against the Orlando Pirates and picked up a 2-0 win away from home here. We had another penalty in this game, the 38th minute. That's how we opened the scoring. Mofa King, this time our left back, putting it in the back of the net. Then early in the second half, Kubeker outside the box, had a crack, it was blocked. Fell to Mofa King from a tight angle. His shot was blocked, and Mamade just had a bit of a gift of a tap in there. So they really gave us a few easy chances in that game, the Orlando Pirates, and we picked up a 2-0 win. So we got back on track in the league as well, which is good to see. Not a very dominant performance stat-wise, but we got the job done, which is good. And then another 2-0 win off the back of that. This time we put out the rotation team just to make sure our first choice team is in good shape going into these Champions League quarterfinals. And as I said, another good 2-0 win. And it was our centre back, Vladla, a player who hasn't got a lot of game time this year. We did bring him in. He's been sort of like a 5th, 6th choice centre back. 2 headers in the first half, 20th and 27th minute. And that was how we won that game. A couple of good set piece corners for us. to pick up a win, and that kept us on top of the league. So we'll show you guys how we're doing in the league before we get into this game. You can see we've got a Nedbank Cup quarter-final coming up in between these Champions League ties against the Black Leopards, so we're going to have to rely on our rotation team for that, and we'll bring you highlights of that game right before the episode ends. We'll show you the Champions League games first. But luckily, Bloemfontein Celtic, despite us losing that game to Mamelodi Sundowns, have also dropped a few points, which is very nice for us, and we now have a 9-point gap over them. So we've extended it by 1 since yesterday's episode, and with 8 games to go in the league season for us, it's really us two in a title race. Mamelodi kind of closing the gap, but not really. We're in a very good position to be taking out the league here in South Africa. And we go back to the schedule, you can see that quarterfinal in the Nedbank Cup coming in between these two Champions League games. We'll show you guys our team for this game before we get into it, as well as we don't know a lot about our opposition in Enyimba Aba. We are going with the team that has done us well of late. We've got Olivares, who's come into the side since that transfer window open, but otherwise first choice team that we've had all season long, and hopefully these guys can get the job done yet again and keep our nice unbeaten streak in the Champions League going. We've got the away league first, the home league second, so this first league could be a bit tougher. If we do blow them out, we'll only show the one game today, but you'll probably see the link of the video down below and be able to tell how many games we do have in this. It'd be nice if we could wrap it up in the first league, but being the quarterfinals, you'd expect a bit of fight to be shown by the Nigerian opposition, and we'll come back with kickoff from the Enyimba International Stadium in Nigeria for the first leg of this Champions League quarterfinal here in Africa. And we are in the red, our away uniform here with Enyimba in the blue, and it is actually us kicking off, playing left to right, and hopefully, as I said, we can pick up a good result in this first league. We don't necessarily need to blow them out the water, but if we do, it would make our life a lot easier for the second league as we drive forward early. Mahua to Walters. We might get an early shot off here, although we briefly lose possession. Do keep it. We keep hold of it, although we give it away there. And it is 0-0 early doors as we start this Champions League quarterfinal. 17 minutes gone here. Very quiet game so far. Goal kick from Enyimba Aba. It is headed for by one of their players, but we will tie this up. We've been down the end a few times, but really haven't threatened the goal yet. So hopefully that can change as Mahua makes his way forward for us. We're just trying to seal into this game, get a goal to get the advantage early, but it hasn't happened yet. So our form has been a little bit up and down of late, and maybe that's going to continue here in these Champions League quarterfinals, although hopefully we can do enough in this away league to make the second league a little bit easier on the nerves. We put a ball in the mixer there. It is cleared away, although we will get things back through Dubé. Headed forward to Boyson. Tries to find Mahua. It's a good ball and forces a good save there out of Udo. That's our most threatening chance of the game by far, but it's still 0-0 after 20 minutes. Goal kick here for Enyimba Aba. They boot it long, but we are able to get possession back, so we might be able to get some attacks going in a row here, which is something we haven't really done so far in this half. The ball finds Boyson. Mahua in a lot of space. Can he test the keeper again? He can't. The shot is blocked, but we're starting to play in the right area of the pitch and hopefully get some more threatening chances off. Mahua will put this corner in. He's trying to find his brother or his other centre-back partner in Dubé. It's headed away, but he makes his way in the box. It's a tackle. No penalty, though. Interesting, but still 0-0 halfway through this first half. 34th minute is a free kick to Enyimba Aba, and they take it short. Look to come forward for one of the first times in this game. That is a poor pass, though, and Mofa King intercepts it. Tries to set Boyson free down the left wing. He makes his way forward. Kenny Mahua tries to test the goalkeeper just high and wide. He's been the most threatening of our attackers so far, but as we get closer to half-time, still 0-0. And that is half-time here in the first half of this first leg of the Champions League quarter-final. It is the away league, but still 0-0. We've had a lot more shots than the opposition. They've only had the one overall. We're just not being quite clinical enough at the moment. And I think that's why we've lost a few games recently, the likes of those games against Boroka and the Mamelodi Sundowns. So we're just struggling for form just ever so slightly at the moment, but we are still playing quite well. Hopefully we can make amends in the second half, and we'll get right into it. No changes as of now. We'll tell the boys we're not too happy with them, even though we are playing quite well, and hopefully they can get their finishing boots on in the second half as we'll crack into it and hopefully get a lead to take into the second league at our home ground. Early highlight here in the second half. The ball cleared away from the Enyimba goalkeeper, but we do get it back in a good area of the pitch. Walters makes his way forward as we get into that final third. Nice ball from Kubeka out to Olivares. Can we open the scoring? Here's a crack, and Udo is forced into a decent save. It was straight at him, but we do win a corner, so hopefully we can get something going from this. Try to find Dube. It's headed back out to Mokoena, back out to Mahua, just inside the box, but he's offside. So he's starting to create things. Good start to the second half, but still 0-0. 55th minute, we're on the ball, making our way into the final third. Kenny Mahua looking for an away goal, which could be important because these guys have looked quite tight at the back for now. Olivares puts the ball into the mixer. Mahua back out to Olivares. Boyson gets his head to it. It's a pretty comfortable save for Udo, and it does remain 0-0, and we will make a change shortly because Welcome Boyson is on a yellow heart. And despite our statistical dominance, we haven't really done a lot threatening-wise in the final third, so we'll bring Zacharias Mamade on for him. Hopefully you can create a few more chances. 0-0 at the hour mark. 67th minute, and we have a corner. Kenny Mahua on a yellow puts it in, and it is his brother, Daudo Mahua. I presume they're brothers. I still haven't checked. Same last name, same team, so surely. But we finally get our goal. Stat-wise, we've been deserving of that for quite some time. It took a set piece for us to get it, though. It's a nice delivery from Kenny. He finds Daudo, the goalkeeper, is in absolutely no man's land, expecting that at the far post. And finally, we go 1-0 up with 20 minutes to go. 76th minute, a free kick to Kubekari takes it, headed back away, but not very far as we try and get a cushion goal. 2 away goals would be very nice in this first leg as we just knock the ball about. It is Daudo Mahua outside the box now. An interesting position for him, into Walters just inside across the Mokoena. Back to Walters, and yeah, we're looking for the second goal just to give us a bit of a more cushier lead going to the second leg. It's a nice fizzing ball from Daudo, trying to return the favour from the first goal. Kenny with a shot forces another good save out of the opposition goalkeeper. We have a corner. It is headed away. We will have yet another corner off the back of this, though, so maybe it will be a couple of set-piece goals for us. Dube gets his head to it, straight at Udo in goal, and that is still 1-0. We will make some changes here. We've got a few players on yellow cards and average ratings. I think Kubeka hasn't had an overly good game, and we've got Giulio Andrew on the bench, who's quite a promising box-to-box midfielder, so I think we're going to bring Andrew on for Kubeka, and also Sakil Malangu has been pretty good for us most of the season, as we'll show you guys Giulio Andrew in a minute. As you can see, he's not the worst box-to-box midfielder. He's got decent finishing and the like, so we'll bring him on for Kubeka, give him a shot. You can see he's got quite a bit of potential, the youngster, and we'll bring Gordinho on for Malangu as well. Gordinho starting to find some nice form, and maybe that's what we need for a second goal as we go into these last 12 minutes or so. 1-0 up, looking for a second. 85 minutes gone, and we do have a free kick. Walters will put this in. We're looking for another set-piece goal, and we'll get it. The goalkeeper at fault again there for Enyimba Aba. He's been pretty good most of this game, to be fair, from open play, but a couple of set pieces now. He's really let his team down. The first goal we got from that corner, and here again he just doesn't find the ball, and Gordinho gets up fresh off the bench, continues a good little goal-scoring patch of form for our backup striker, and it's 2-0 late in this game, and that is a scoreline that better reflects the overall run of play. It feels like we haven't been at our best by any stretch, but we certainly have what we deserve here now, it feels like, because we have dominated this game, and we are up 2-0. Mahua going forward as we might look for a third. It is cleared away from Enyimba, and they're on the attack. It's a long ball. Silas has a crack, but straight at Gunga. Still 2-0 as we get late into this game. 90 minutes gone. A goal kick to Enyimba. Udo boots it long, tries to find a teammate, and he does, although they hit it back forward, and we're able to tidy things up as we have 4 minutes of added time. The scoreline at the moment is quite nice. I'd take it if you offered it to me now, but if we can get a third, that would be nice, as long as we don't give them a sniff with a goal of their own. Mamade heads that forward, might be able to get to it before one of their defenders, but he doesn't. Passes it back to Udo, and we look to close this game out, although Enyimba were looking like they were going to get on the attack, but that's a poor pass out to Olivares, so we can launch again. Kenny Mahua making his way in field. He has a crack just wide. Tell you what, that was going for the bottom right corner. Just close, but still 2-0, and we are now coming up to what feels like the full-time highlight. Not our best performance, it's fair to say. We've looked a little bit average. I think Olivares was offside there. Indeed he was. They'll get a free kick here, and I think this will be full-time. Indeed it is. A 2-0 win. As I said, we dominated the game pretty nicely, but didn't really get our reward for it until quite late on. Hopefully we can improve in the home league, but not going to complain with a 2-0 lead. We'll come back shortly with the other results from this first round of the quarterfinals. And here they are. So Cape Town City were only held to a 1-1 draw by Setif in their home league. So Setif probably quite happy with that. Vax have a 2-0 lead over Al Ali after the home leg, so that tie still fairly open, but Sparks will be quite happy with that. And Bloemfontein Celtic with a 1-0 away win over Raya Casablanca. So all the South African teams, or at least us and Bloemfontein Celtic, quite nicely positioned. The other two ties, though, could go either way. I think Satif would probably fancy themselves in that tie against Cape Town City, but we'll come back. We'll get straight into the second game because we're probably going to be rolling out the same team, and we'll come back and hopefully extend our lead and make our way through to the Champions League semi-finals here in Africa. And we are in the home uniform that we're regularly in for the second league. Exactly the same teams from that first league, from what I can tell. And Enyimba are kicking off, playing right to left in the white. And they will be looking to get a few away goals to get this tie back on level terms. But hopefully we can pull out a better performance in this game than we did in the first, be a bit more clinical in front of goal. Because as I said from that first league that we were just seeing, we just weren't quite all there in terms of our final third production, it felt like. But hopefully in front of our home crowd we can get a better result and make our way through to the Champions League semi-finals here in Africa safely as we make our way forward nice and early here through Kubeka. Finds Moffaking, the left back. Can he put a ball in? He finds Walters just outside the box out to Kubeka. He might have a shot. He does, and it's just wide. He can hit those from a long way out, but we're going to be 0-0 early doors here in the second leg of this Champions League quarter-final. As we now have a throw in, we find Kubeka from it. He makes his way infield, looking for another long shot perhaps. Mokawina to Walters. Our midfield is knocking it about quite nicely, and Moffaking in a lot of space as the left back. He makes his way into the box, puts one across, and welcome Boyson taps it in. That's a much better start from us. Much better stuff from us early on here. And we go 1-0 up early doors and 3-0 on aggregate. And it is a very tough task for Enyimba from here on out. Although if they do get 3 goals, they will be going through on the away rule. So we won't rule it out just yet. But Boyson just given too much space on the near post there and somehow able to get that past the goalkeeper. 1-0 early on and 3-0 on aggregate. 13 minutes gone here, and Enyimba do have a throw-in that they look to get something going forward from, and they will need to soon if they're going to find a way back into this tie. We hit that forward, but they will get it back through Aliu. They play it back to one of their centre-backs there in Orr, although Mahua gets that for us up to his brother, and he makes his way forward. I really hope they're brothers because I keep calling them brothers. I think we'll just stick with that storyline now because otherwise that will make me look like a bit of a buff head from here because I've called them that for well over half a season. But we're back on the ball trying to go forward. Maho with a shot straight to Udo, but we're definitely creating stuff a bit more threatening than we were in the last game. 1-0 after 15 minutes. Goal kick here to Enyimba. Udo's going to boot this as far as he can, although that's not a very good one, and we're able to get straight on the attack, although they just cut out that ball before Kenny Maho can get on the end of that, but we will find him shortly after from their clearance. Walters back up to Mahua. Oh, that's a little bit fortunate. I almost thought Mahua might have got a penalty there. The tackle was from behind. I did think he won the ball, but it's fallen to Malangu, and all he had to do was have a simple tapping into the bottom left corner, and we go 2-0 up after 22 minutes. A lot more clinical in front of goal today, which you like to see. Looking at this tackle, it's a pretty dodgy angle for it, but he has got the ball, but it falls to Malangu. All he has to do is put it away nice and simply, and we're 2-0 up in the first half of the second leg. Throw in here for SuperSport in the 31st minute, 2-0 up and 4-0 on aggregate. So we're travelling nicely here. A lot better from us so far in this second leg than it was in the first. Looking a bit more clinical in front of goal when we've been given some good chances so far as we knock the ball about on the left-hand side of the box. It's a potential penalty and it has been given. Now we will have VAR for this in the African Champions League. We don't have it in the domestic league, but they will check this. But it did look pretty clear cut. Didn't look like he won the ball, and indeed it will be given. Moffaking, our left back, will take the penalty, and we look to go 3-0 up early and 5-0 on aggregate. I say early, just after half an hour. Here's a shot. It is saved, so he misses the penalty, and then an absolute open net on the rebound. Hopefully that doesn't cost us too much because that was a bit of an easy one for Moffaking on the rebound. Still 2-0, but 5-0 on aggregate. That would have put us in a really nice spot. I don't think they were catching us from there. They try and get an attack going there, do Enyimba, but we do cut it out and look to go back forward again ourselves. Moffaking trying to bounce back from that little horror show he had just a few minutes ago. Kubeka up to Walters, over to Kenny Mahua, makes his way in field, tries to play Malangu through. They do cut it out, and we will get possession back though from their clearance, and we look to make it 3-0 through open play. Olivares to Walters up to Kenny Mahua. Malanga with a shot. Good save from Udo. Definitely looking threatening, but it's still 2-0 as we get closer to half time. And we now have a throw in the 33rd minute. We do give the ball straight to Enyimba though, although we are cornering them down in their end. And we now get possession back. Welcome Boyson. Or he has a goal. Good slide tackle there from Aliu. And it will be Enyimba on the attack here, the Nigerian side, looking to get back into this tie. They play a long ball forward. It's a really poor one. Straight at Mofa King. Over to Kubecker and now Boyson. We try and get something going down the left-hand side. Cuts inside. Tries to put a shot off straight to Udo, though. And still 2-0, close to half-time. 43rd minute. Another goal kick here to Enyimba that they try and boot long. But Mofa King wins that header for us. And we're still trying to make this 3-0 before half-time. But 4-0 up on aggregate. And it is looking good for us. Still playing better than we were in the first league, I feel, with what we've shown in front of goal so far in this league. But it is Enyimba at the moment, just knocking the ball about nice and patiently. I say that they've given the ball away there with a long ball forward, and we now look to get on the attack. Kubecker is able to make his way forward into the final third. Finds Maho a really nice pass, but another good save there from Udo, and it's still going to be 2-0 close to half-time. 45th minute, and we have a throw-in right before half-time, looking to get it to 5-0 on aggregate. We try and put a ball in. It is blocked by one of the Nigerian side defenders, but we will get it back, and we go forward again. Mahua out to Olivares in a bit of space on the edge of the box. Puts one into the mixer. Malangu with a header, but another good save from Udo. He has been quite good over both ties. A couple of so-so set-piece goals he conceded in that first league is all that's really let him down so far, but on the whole, he's been quite good for them, and we're absolutely dominating this game. You can see 18 shots, 12 on target. They've had absolutely none. As I said, a much better performance from us in the second leg so far. Hopefully we can just put the nail in the coffin a bit more in the second half and really kill this game off. 2-0 on the day, 4-0 on aggregate. Should be going through, but hopefully we can get a few more goals to make sure of it. 48 minutes gone. Now we're getting shown a free kick from a foul from them. These usually result in something, from what I know. It's a long ball played for Malangu, just past his defender, and he gets it past the goalkeeper. They do tend to result in goals, those ones where they show you the foul and the referee giving a bit of a telling off as well as the actual free kick. It's a simple long ball forward from Mofa King, so he makes up for his earlier missed penalty and then open net from the same play. Nice ball forward for Malangu, tucks it away, and early into the second half, we're 3-0 up, 5-0 on aggregate. 50th minute, we have a corner. We find Dubé. This is a really good start to the second half. Ludley Dubé makes it 4-0. We've come out of the sheds firing, and we are well and truly now safely into the semi-finals of this African Champions League. Mahua puts it into the mixer, and Dubé gets there before the goalkeeper puts it past him into the bottom left corner. And just like that, 4-0 on the day, 6-0 on aggregate. Corner here for Enyimba in the 62nd minute. They try and get a consolation goal, and they will. That's a bit soft from our defence. Taj Sodje is able to put that in the back of the net. They definitely try and get things going quickly because they'll need to, but they do get an away goal. Was just given a free header there at the near post and gets that past our defenders and goalkeeper. And they've struck back 4-1 after 62 minutes. And we will make a few substitutions here. They have struck back, but I think we're pretty safe here to make a few substitutions. So we'll take off the players on yellow hearts at the moment. So that is Daldo Mahua, who hasn't got much of a rest so far this season. We'll bring Malloy, might work as we can put Mofa King into centre back because I think that will work a bit more. We've played Mateza at centre back before and it hasn't worked very well. So that's the other substitution we can make. But I think we'll take Mahua off for Malloy and switch him around with Mofa King. So that will be our first substitution. And otherwise, it's just the usual wing substitution that we make. We'll bring Mamade on for Boyson and Nunez on for Kenny Mahua. So both of the Mahuas, after some good work so far in this tie, will get a rest. So we'll make those substitutions and carry on with the rest of the second half. 6-1 up on aggregate. Highlight pretty quickly after that triple substitution from us. We try and get possession back from an Enyimba throw-in. They do keep it and they have a good chance there, Aliyu, but a really good save from Ganga. Starting to come into the game, but it's still 4-1, 6-1 on aggregate. Corner here in the 74th minute. Mokoena is going to put this one in. It is headed back out to him. He's got a lot of space here. He'll put another one in, and it is Tulani Walters given a lot of space at the far post there. The director's camera angle doesn't really help us out there, but it was a good finish from him. The initial corner was cleared out quite nicely from the Enyimba defence, but it's given straight back to Mokoena, who has all the time in the world to pick out Walters at the far post, and the goalkeeper can't get there in time. It's 5-1 on a day, 7-1 on aggregate, and looking very, very nice for us. 91st minute, it is pretty much all over. We've got a couple of seconds left in this game, and it's going to finish 7-1 on aggregate, unless we got a goal there, but they have cleared it away, and we'll just run the clock out here, you'd expect, although Malloy might be able to put a ball in back to Walters, back to Malloy in a little bit of space. We might have a crack at making this 6-1 on the day. We put a ball over the top. It makes its way into touch. They'll have a goal kick, but surely that will be it. And indeed it is. 5-1 on the day, 7-1 on aggregate. A much better performance in the second leg from us. And we make our way through to the Champions League semi-finals here in Africa pretty comfortably in the end. As I said in the first leg, not a great performance there, but that was a lot better. And we'll come back shortly and find out who we're going to be playing in the semi-finals, and also catch you guys up on the game we played in between against the Black Leopards in the Nedbank Cup quarter-final. So a very nice win for us in that second leg, as we said, and you can see we go through 7-1 on aggregate. In the end, Bloemfontein Celtic also won the second leg of their tie, so they go through 2-0 over Raja Casablanca. In terms of the team that we're going to be playing, it was 0-0 in the second leg between CS Sfax from Tunisia and Al Ali of Egypt. So we will be taking on the Tunisian outfit. And in the other semi-final, it is an all-South African clash. Cape Town City getting the job done 2-0 away from home. So turning around what they no doubt thought would have been a pretty average result at home, and they will go through to take on Bloemfontein Celtic. So it could definitely be an all-South African Champions League final. And the way that we're going, you would expect it, especially if we can put out more performances like we did in the second leg of that tie. So that will do almost for today's episode. Before we round up, we'll go back and show you guys the highlights of the game that was played in between the Champions League quarter-final ties, and that was a Nedbank Cup quarter-final. We'll make our way down. The rotation team was put out for this game, and we just scraped a 1-0 win over the Black Leopards, so we make our way through to the semi-finals of that competition. It took us until the 59th minute to get the goal, and it was through one of our first team players. Daldo Mahua came off the bench. I think we actually might have chucked him at left back for this game for a little while, but in the end he did come on. In fact, we did, because Malloy was laying down a bit of a turd, so he came on at left back for him, got a goal from a corner in the 59th minute, and that was the deciding factor. So-so performance, but on the whole, stat-wise, you would say that we deserved that win, so we will be making our way forward to the semi-finals of that competition. I'll just check if it's been drawn yet, and it hasn't. So when we're going to be coming back, we've got a few first division games that we're going to cover off camera, one of those being against Bloemfontein Celtic again. We could be playing them again later this season, I'm feeling, so we might just skip that one, even though that is quite a big top-of-the-table clash, which could put us in an exceptional position to take out the league. It could almost guarantee it if we're able to beat them in that game, but we've got them, Jomo Cosmos and Cape Town City yet again in the league before we take on Sfax in the Champions League semi-finals. I think those two games will be back-to-back. The Nedbank Cup semi-final, it says, is going to be played on the same day as our Champions League semi-final second leg, so you'd imagine that will get pushed back or something will happen there. So I think we'll have back-to-back games to cover off in tomorrow's episode, where we take on the Tunisian outfit, and we can cover it off just like we did today with both legs in the same video. But if you did enjoy today's episode, where we eventually got the better of Enyimba Aba of Nigeria 7-1 on aggregate and made our way through to the Champions League semi-finals here in Africa, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you're new around here and enjoy what you saw and want to keep up to date with this Hexagon challenge, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. But until I see you tomorrow for that Champions League semi-final taking on CS Sfax from Tunisia, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.